welcome back to Cemetery Scout. I've got a brand new type of video for you guys today. So typically when I go through each town's list of historical cemeteries, I skip over any that for whatever reason I just don't want to do a full video on. It could just be that the cemetery doesn't have enough interesting stuff about it. It could be the cemetery is gone. It could be that I just can't reach the cemetery. Maybe it's on private property. But recently I decided, why don't I just do a quick roundup video to cover all those cemeteries that I missed. So that's what we're doing today. It's Cemetery Scout, Barrington and Bristol Roundup. With that out of the way, let's get started. So this baseball dugout I'm sitting in here sits at Barrington High School. And if you're wondering why I'm at Barrington High School, it's because it's the site of the now destroyed Bicknell burial ground. You see, in 1898, a man named Thomas Bicknell wrote a book called The History of Barrington. And in that book, he detailed a lot of the Barrington historical cemeteries, one of which apparently sat right where the baseball fields sit now at Barrington High School. So somewhere out there might be some bodies.
All right, next we're taking this little old beat up road here to sneak up on a golf course, which is the site of our next cemetery. Made out to the golf course, and while we were talking about Thomas Bicknell, there's another cemetery in his book called the Brown Family Lot. Nobody knows exactly which cemetery he is referring to with his description of the Brown Family Lot, but one of the two commonly suggested theories is somewhere out on this golf course on the 6th fairway. The reason for this theory is because in 1922, when they were building that fairway, builders uncovered a pair of skeletons on a small knoll out in the golf course. So that could be the Brown Family Lot, but also here at a place called Bullock's Cove, the families of John and James Brown were buried way back in the day. However, that cemetery is also destroyed, so it'll be a mystery forever where exactly the Brown Family Lot lies. All right, that's it for Barrington. Next up is Bristol. I'm here at the Juniper Hill Cemetery. Now, I initially skipped this one because it has a lot of recent burials, and I don't really want to show any close-ups of people's graves who still have living relatives. But this cemetery is just too beautiful not to at least show you a quick walkthrough and some landscape shots. So let's go check it out. Next up is this row of graves along the wall of this church here. Pretty cool little spot for some graves and pretty cool little church. This one in particular is pretty cool. It's the grave of Nathaniel Bosworth. He died in 1690. He was also the very first deacon of this church. And this one here is for Samuel Lee. This one is pretty cool because this guy actually died and was buried in France. And this grave here is just a cenotaph so that they can also honor him on this side of the Atlantic. Here I am at a small farm in Bristol now. I was looking around here for a historical cemetery called the Byfield Lot. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it. The main reason for that, I think, is because it's just one grave, and it's actually the grave of a horse. What I think is really funny about this cemetery is if you go onto the Rhode Island Historical Cemetery database website, one of the little notes they have in the description is, probably should not have been a historical cemetery, but it was registered early in the database's history. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.